Pisces. Bye-bye. Let's see what's going on for you fishes. 5 of Pentacles upright. Oh, shit. Literally what the card says. This is the victim card. This is the card of feeling healing, like needing healing or homeless. Look at it. It's a puzzle piece missing. It's like your partnership life, it's missing something, or the partner you're with, you know what? It makes you just feel like you're with maybe you're with somebody who's like very insecure and not together. I mean, you just finished your relationship season. Now you're in your 8th house of deep looks and trust and intimacy and passion, and maybe it's just not there. And you know, you could also be having some issues with that. You did pull the Parasite card as your overall.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Yeah, that's what Craig pulled on the Instagram and TikTok thing we just did. I would say that you're dealing with the energies around. I'm going to be honest. Pisces need to wake up this week about what's going on about like either A, you have your own parasite going on of your own self-worth. That's why you're not attracting what you want if you're single. And if you're in a relationship right now, you need to pay attention. There's something about the partnerships you're choosing or the partner that's going through a lot of kind of victim or like mentality or some sort of like, oh, I need this, but not wanting to, and kind of holding some really hard space here, I'll be honest. The overall that you got is the 4 of Pentacles and upright. So I think that you need to know what the ultimate hand to have in a relationship is. Like, what is the very best? This could play good or bad, right? Because you could be holding on to a parasite that's not that great and think it's great. I think that this is where you need to see if your relationships or the non-existence of them in the way that you live your life, if it's really gold or not, if it's really worth holding on to or not. And only doing that. You pulled the Death card reversed with the Parasite, so I would say that, you know, this is the card to help you understand the reason how to get through this. It's because you're afraid of ending it. You're afraid of ending whatever, staying single and playing the victim, or staying in a relationship that's just a victim situation. And that's your issue. You did pull the World card reversed. This person, this relationship situation is like not taking you into the world that you want anymore, and maybe at one time, and it's trying to complete itself, but it's like you're not allowing it to. And that might just be, you know, this 8th house energy is you have deep fears of change, deep fears of death, anxiety, of your world changing. You're afraid of your world to change, so you just stay in the same world. So it's a lot of anxiety about how the world would change. We're going to use this new True Black deck here. Let's see what we got here. Woo! Well, that's the 9 of Swords upright. So I'm going to be honest with you all. This is about a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and look at how that sword is going through that little bunny's heart and just jamming through it. Not the most pretty. But I would say that this is the anxieties of the truth that is being seen like a night. It's the nightmare card. Like you wake up from a nightmare about holding on to something that's not that great. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know. There's just something about her that doesn't even look that great of holding that. Like, I kind of like it. It looks like she, you know, one of those people who pose too much, like unnatural pose. Have you become so like the pose is not even natural anymore? Look at your pictures with your partner. And if you haven't taken a picture with that partner and you feel uncomfortable with that, or you have to hide that, or you deny that, or it's just like, that's a big indicator, Pisces. or you have nobody to take a picture with. Gemini, you have to communicate, right? So that's what this Gemini card's coming up for. It's also your 4th house ruler where the North Node is. I would say that this is a very intense week for you because you're going to have to communicate and you have to look at the environment. It needs to be more stimulating and you need to get to the truth of why you're afraid of ending the parasitic aspect of either yourself or your partnership that is definitely going through a massive wake-up call and a world-changing. And I think that you tried to keep it all good over the last 30 days, but now things have changed. You did get the 9th house Aquarius Mercury. Well, it's time for you to look at completely different worlds and different people and different situations, and time for you to also communicate about the kind of world that you want and what your beliefs are and what your hopes are. And also, this is kind of disconnecting from a world. I feel like Pisces just want to like fish out to some new place, fish out to some new waters. And, you know, address a lot of things that are not, you know, maybe this could just be some toxic part of your partner that's just trying to be dealt with. I mean, there's a lot here.
Yeah, when I was looking at that card that you're speaking of, I was picking up like being just like inauthentic to ourselves, you know, and inauthentic to our partner. You know, that's not going to lead to any productive situation, you know, if we're not being truthful, if we're not being upfront with who we are, you know, even with ourselves, if we're not being authentic to ourselves, then how can we expect to have any healthy relationship, you know? And so I think that it is kind of stepping out of that, like stepping out of that shadow of maybe putting up that false front of who you thought your partner wanted, you know, or who you even kind of thought that you wanted to portray out into the world, you know, and actually just live in your authentic self. As far as that is defined, you know, we're always kind of evolving, you know, we're always kind of finding out who we are every single day, every hour sometimes. But it is just tapping into that, you know, and actually putting that out into the world and being comfortable in your own skin. Can be tough, but you know, work at it. But you got to work at it. If you don't put in the effort, then it's not going to happen. So it's like practice that authenticity of your true self.
Yeah, and I think that you said it best. I mean, it's the authentic self, and it's also, I think, just facing all the fear. There's a lot of just fear-based energy of change. It doesn't mean that it has to change. It just is like getting over just the fear of doorways that are possible, even if they don't look like the way that you would want them to look. By getting rid of that fear, then actually it's almost like universe is like, well, okay, that door's there for them, but that means if they're not afraid of this door, that means they won't be afraid of that door or this door. There's a lot of doors that aren't opening because of the fact of the fear-based stuff. A lot of fear-based stuff off just seeing things not go the way that you exactly want to. I think it's a lot of ego, fear, death anxiety shit going on for Pisces there with their partnerships and having to face that stuff. Not fun, but it's pretty simple when you realize no matter what any outcome is, then the universe knows you're fine. And the universe always finds the best outcome, but we can manifest bad outcomes by being afraid of certain outcomes and holding on to that constantly.